Hey, Dwayne Gleason here again. You guessed it, still product managing for Trimble Buildings. Welcome to part 8 of our video series on the document controller program. Today we're going to get into some seriously cool stuff as we check out reference planes for the first time. Reference planes are the gateway to the hybrid environment where we get to rock the 2D and the 3D together as one, but first we need to get them created in the model, and there's a few different ways that we can do that. We'll look at how to create horizontal, vertical, free, and location-based reference planes inside of our project. We'll also see how to use those for sectioning the model so that we can get just the views that we want. In the next video, we'll learn how to map the drawings. But first things first, let's get to it.
Alright, so to kick this one off, we're going to open up the project we've been working on, and this time we're going to go directly to the 3D window from the fly-up list in the lower left-hand corner. I'm also going to use the filtering palette, and I'm going to isolate just the superstructure model to work with for now. Next, I want to turn on the reference plane palette, and I'm going to hit the pin up here so that it stays in the screen for me while I'm working with it. The first reference plane I want to create today is going to be a horizontal reference plane. I'm going to give it a descriptive code and name so that I can easily identify its purpose within the reference plane palette. Then, hover over the 3D model and select an actual point in the model to define the elevation of the reference plane. Here I can see that the reference plane came in just above the first floor, and I can click the section button to look at just the part of the model that's below that reference plane. Next, I'm going to add another horizontal reference plane, again giving it an intuitive code and name for sorting and grouping over in the reference plane palette. But this time, I'm going to manually type in the elevation I want. I'll hit OK to view the reference plane, and when I orbit the model, I can see that a new plane has been created. You can see here that it cuts about midway through the level. I'm going to move the edges of the reference plane just a little bit by editing the boundary. And now I want to change the elevation that it comes in at. So here, I'll just type in the new elevation where I want the reference plane to be. So again, I'm just editing the boundaries of it, changing the color and the transparency of it. There, I have it just where I want it. Next, I'm going to start to create some vertical reference planes to capture the facade of this building. This time, I'll put VR in the code so that I know it's a vertical reference plane, and I'll also put the name of the building face that this is going to represent in there. To create vertical reference planes, I'm going to find myself a good corner of the building, and I want to select 2 points that are right on top of each other in the vertical axis. And then I'm going to click along the other axis in the model to define which way I want the face to go. Here you can see I click 2 points on top of each other into the left, and I got a reference plane across the entire north face of the building. I'm going to do it over here again on the side. Again, putting in the face name in the description so that I can quickly see that on the reference plane palette. Click 2 points on top of each other vertically, and then select the direction that I want the plane to extend. This time I hit OK and New to jump right into creating my third vertical reference plane for the south face. I'm going to pan over to where I can get a good slab edge. Pick 2 points right on top of each other vertically. And then define which direction I want the plane to angle. And one more to go. Again, zoom in to get a good shot of the model so that I don't have to move again when I select my points. Choose the Add Reference Plane button. and then hover right over into the model, find two vertical points on top of each other, and then define the direction. There, now I've got all four faces of my building with vertical reference planes. And remember, if ever you want to change anything about the reference planes, all you have to do is right-click on them within the reference plane palette to get the context menu. From the context menu, you can edit the boundaries position. You can edit the reference plane information, such as the color, the code, the name. All of that can be found from right-clicking on the reference plane palette. Next, I'm going to show you what I think is the quickest way to create reference planes based on the location breakdown structure, or the LBS. Users familiar with Vico Office know that this can be created in the LBS module, or it can be derived from the source model in the document register. Clicking LBS-based reference planes adds a plane at each and every level of the building that is defined within the LBS manager. You can also put in things like an offset. Here, I've put in an 8-foot offset above each finished floor so that I can have a reference plane up at the ceiling level for each location. I can use that ceiling level reference plane to put information such as the reflected ceiling plan, the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing drawings, all up in a space that more accurately reflects their true position within the building. I'm also going to add some details to the reference plane name so that I know it's based up in the ceiling. So that's it. That's how you get started creating reference planes. Check out the next video and we'll show you how to use those reference planes to map the drawings onto.
Wow, that was some pretty cool stuff with reference planes there. Certainly worth getting the red shirt out for. We learned how to create horizontal, vertical, and location-based planes. Also, we learned how to section the 3D model using those reference planes. Join us in the next video where we'll start to put them to some good use by mapping, scaling, and aligning the 2D contract documents onto the planes so that we can start to get that hybrid environment between the 2D and the 3D. I'll catch you there, and I'll probably be wearing a different shirt.